Hey friends, family, internet strangers, it's Kevin here. We're going to get started with the Barr press conference review in just a second, but they're walking on stage now, so let's go ahead and cut over to the video. Okay, so everybody walked out here fairly uneventful. Everybody looked a little stiff, which would be expected with all the cameras and everybody around, and you're delivering a big message. Although, actually the guy with the beard and red tie, I don't know who he is, and Barr actually looked like it's another day at the office. If I didn't know Rosenstein was so stiff all the time, I'd say he's nervous too, but, he's so stiff all the time. If he fell down, he'd crack in half.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for being here this morning. As you know, on March 22nd, Special Counsel Robert Mueller concluded his investigation into matters.
Okay, so let's pause here for just a second and cover a couple things here. First of all, taking a look at the three of them standing there, they all should be in pretty much the same mental place when it comes to presenting something that's important in front of a bunch of important people like this, and cameras and lights and all that other stuff. So all of them should be in the same mental state. Although Barr, he is the boss, he's going to be a little bit different. But the two in the back, Rosenstein and the bearded red tie guy, they're going to be in the same mental place as each other. So their reactions should kind of match each other's and match what others do in this same situation. Now you'll notice that Rosenstein's eyes kind of move back and forth. He's not really looking at anything. He's stares for a minute one direction, stares for a minute in the other direction. Well, not a minute, just a second or two. And then he snaps back into place and goes right back into straightforward stare mode again. So not sure what's going on there. But you will notice that the bearded man, he is really actually looking at something. He's looking down, and that's the difference between the two. The steely glare, the doll's eyes that Rosenstein shows, and then you got the other guy who's genuinely looking at something, trying to take the whole thing in and do whatever it is that he's supposed to be doing, I guess.
Related to Russian attempts to interfere in our...
Okay, so let's pause right here again and take a look. Now, you'll take a real close look at Rosenstein's neck. He takes a real big swallow here, and that's going to show signs of distress, something in that statement that he didn't like, something puts him, just adds stresses to whatever's going on with him. Okay, let's take a look at that one more time, real slow.
The 2016 presidential election, and he submitted his confidential report.
Well, and the stone man returns. Now look at Rosenstein again. He went right back to his stare again, and off in the distance, steely eyes, doll eyes, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, just like nothing's there. There's nothing going on, or there's a whole bunch going on, and he's just hiding it real well.
To me, pursuant to department regulations. As I said during my Senate confirmation...
Okay, so let's go ahead and slow it down here. Take a look at Rosenstein. When he says that, Rosenstein snaps his head, a quick glance at Barr, and then back to the stare again. Real slow, quick glance, and back to the stare again. Something there got his attention, something there piqued his attention.
Possible of transparency concerning the special counsel's investigation, consistent with the law. At 11 this morning, I'm going to transmit copies of the public version of the special counsel's report to the chairman and ranking members of the Senate and House Judiciary Committees. The Department of Justice will also make the report available.
Okay, so now we're starting to see a little eye movement out of Mr. Rosenstein here. Back and forth, back and forth. It's kind of funny. I'll slow it down a little bit. You look at him, he'll look left, then he'll look forward again, then he'll look left and forward again. He's not focusing on anything. He's just shifting his eyes as if to say, I'm staring. I need to stop that. Everybody's going to notice. And then I'm staring in one spot. Everyone's going to notice again. I better look somewhere else. That's kind of the feeling I get out of it. What are you guys' thoughts? Go ahead and comment down below.
It has been delivered to Congress. I'd like to make a few comments today on the report. Before I do that, I want to thank Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein for joining me here today and for his.
Now I'll try and slow this up the best I can and maybe try and zoom in a little bit to get a little closer look at Mr. Rosenstein there. I'll try the best I can. I'm not a professional video editor here, so let me see if I can zoom it in without ruining the picture and get my point. He takes a big gulp, and usually that's a sign of distress, something that is a stressor, something that sets him off in his mind that's not right, something he doesn't agree with, causing him stress, all of that stuff, and it's shown through that big gulp that he takes. And here it comes. A little more zoom in and go for me. Oh, there you go.
Assistance and counsel throughout this process.
Well, see, now he has his attention. If you take a look, he's now staring and at Barr, and well, that's quite honestly because he's talking about Rosenstein, so he wants to pay attention, or now he's proud of the things that he's done and that Barr's going to brag about.
Rod, as you know, has served at the department for nearly 30 years with dedication and distinction, and it's been a great privilege and pleasure for me to work with him since my confirmation.
Okay, so at great privilege and pleasure, when Barr says that, Rosenstein snaps his head. Now it's a real sharp movement, as though I think he's saying that it wasn't as a great interaction as Barr would like us to think it is. So I'll slow this down a little bit so you can see him snap his head in that direction and take that in. I don't know, they probably asked him some tough questions. Maybe there was some, why he did what he did stuff, maybe a little waterboarding. Who knows what was going on there, but it probably wasn't as privileged and all of that as Barr would like to imply. Right here we go from doll eyes to snap of the head. Right there.
He had well-deserved plans to step back from public service that were interrupted by my...
Okay, so let's take another pause here. Take a look at Rosenstein's face. He's got the smile on his face as though he's trying to agree with Barr, but it doesn't tie in with his eyes, his ears, the rest of his head, so it's a fake smile. Don't buy it.
Asking him to help in my transition. Rod has been an invaluable partner, and I am grateful that he is willing to help me and has been able.
Okay, slight positive head nod there when he said that. Great help, which means that he was complacent. He helped out. He did what he was asked to do. So,
to see the special counsel's investigation through to its conclusion. Thanks, Rod. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, so real quick thank you. That's all he got out of it. A little head nod. We've all seen Rosenstein when he's been with other people that he's trying to impress or that he wants to be with or he's enamored with or whatever, that he usually holds a little bit bigger fake smile, a little bit longer and all of that. He went right back to staring, dropped the smile as soon as Barr turned his head. So it wasn't genuine at all. Not one part of that was genuine. I'm going to go ahead and play it back real slow for you here so you can see the head nod. Like I said, in the positive, like he's agreeing with him, but his smile doesn't match, none of that. He looks right at stares again. But there is also a little glance down, which, to me tells me there's a little bit of shame mixed in there. He knows what he's done. We all know what he's done. He's guilty as hell.
I'd like to thank Special Counsel Robert Mueller for his service and the thoroughness of his investigation, particularly his work exposing the nature of Russia's attempts to interfere in our electoral process. As you know, one of the primary purposes of the Special Counsel's investigation was to determine whether President Trump's campaign or any individual associated with it conspired or coordinated with the Russian government to interfere in the 2016 election.
And there was another big gulp. Let's take a look at that here. Barr makes a comment about the election, and there it is. It's a real stressor for him. Something's going on there. Not hearing the whole story.
Volume 1 of the Special Counsel's report describes the results of that investigation. As you will see, the special counsel's report states that his, quote, investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its election interference activities. I am sure that all Americans share my concern about the efforts of the Russian government to interfere in our presidential election. As the special counsel report makes clear, the Russian government sought to interfere in our election process. But thanks to the special counsel's thorough investigation, we now know that the Russian operatives who perpetrated
Okay, so here's something interesting right here. If you notice, Barr moves and shifts his weight, just been standing there a long time, so he shifts his weight a little bit right there. Okay, now watch red tie bearded guy in the back corner. Watch what he does. Now see, he drops his head, shifts his weight a little bit. He's been standing there a long time too. It's human nature for us to kind of copy or mimic another person or somebody else. But in human nature and behavior, what this shows is a kind of a pecking order. If you're wondering who's in charge or who's running the show here, Barr moves. Shortly thereafter, red tie guy moves. So Barr's the boss. Red tie guy is just kind of there paying attention. He's there for support to Barr. And Rosenstein is just oblivious to the whole thing. He's still got them doll's eyes. He's just looking straight forward. And here's one more thing in human behavior and human nature. Take a look at the way that Rosenstein's standing. He's not symmetrical. He's not straight up like he was when they first entered in. He's leaning towards Barr. His left shoulder's dropped down a bit. His right shoulder's up. His left arm, or his left shoulder's up a little bit. His right shoulder's down. I'm looking at the picture backwards. The left arm is kind of crossed a little bit in front, almost as if he's pulling himself in. He's hiding behind Barr. This is his circle of trust, his circle of protection. These are the people that are going to protect him. So he's leaning a little bit further in. You almost see his head's tilting out to try and make himself look like he's not leaning in.
The cooperation of President Trump or the Trump campaign, or the knowing assistance of any other American for that matter. That is something that all Americans...
Here's a really good picture of what I was talking about. See, as Barr leans away a little bit, you can kind of see Rosenstein's shoulders, how he's really tilting to the right, leaning into Barr, really leaning into his safe zone. That's what he's doing there.
...can and should be grateful to have confirmed. The special counsel report outlines two main efforts by the Russian government to influence the 2000...
Again, with the doll eyes, just look at him. He just sits there, staring at nothing.
2016 election. First, the report details efforts by the Internet Research Agency, a Russian company with close ties to the Russian government, to sow social discord among American voters through disinformation and social media operations. Following a thorough investigation of this disinformation campaign...
Okay, well, we even saw a big swallow from the bearded red tie guy on that one. So what this is kind of adding up to me and what it kind of looks like to me is there's a mixture of stories here, and everybody's happy and everybody's pissed and nobody's happy with the outcome and everybody's happy with the outcome. So I'm not really sure exactly what the behind story is, but there's a lot going on there, and so stay tuned. And remember, if you like what you see, if you like what's going on, you want to learn more, you want to learn how to do what I do, we offer training and tutorials on our Facebook site. Click in the links below. We also have a podcast where we talk about body language and just how to have good conversations with people. Conversation's a lost art these days, and I'm trying to bring it back. Have a great day.